3, 2, 1. We're in Anaheim, California. YouTube.com, Jamestown, California. The last thing I want to do is talk about police and conduct of police, but I think what just occurred to me in the way I was pulled over and then talked to, discriminated against during the pullover, I'm going to do a quick video of my displeasure of what occurred. Number one, we're at a stay-at-home order, and we do our best to stay safe, the best we can, all of us. And the policeman in Anaheim, when they pulled me over, came up to me without a mask on, and then his partner on the side window without a mask. The reason why it's so important that they wear masks is if we're trying to be safe and they think they're above the law or they're just better than anyone else, then it just really defeats the whole purpose of being shut down. If they pull you over and they're not wearing masks, instead of just saying, what the fuck, why after 9 months do they think that they're better than us civilians, that they don't have to wear a mask when they pull over a person? Now, I was pulled over because he didn't like the way my left signal looked or sounded from behind, but that was untrue. While I was pulled over, the first thing he said was, why do I wear a red bandana? The red bandana that you guys always see in my videos and photos. I wear it because of two reasons. One is because I wear hats, and because I don't have hair, it protects the sweat from the hats when it's hot. Number two, it protects you from COVID. I put the bandana over my ears when I'm driving, so if I'm driving with my window down, I have it on the left side so the air doesn't come inside my ears. But it really doesn't matter. What difference does it make, police officer in Anaheim, why I'm wearing a bandana? So he discriminated me. I saw him look at me and then come really fast when I was at the light, and then he pulled me over saying that it was because of the way my turn signal looked. But the truth was, he spotted me wearing the bandana and he made a U-turn and then pulled me over when he decided that he didn't like my car or where I was. Now, I know I'm in hostile territory when I do some of these drop-offs for any of these restaurants. And I know exactly where it's good and where it's not good, but I'm not afraid to go into hostile territory. And what occurred to me was the unprofessionalness of the policeman. To first be unprofessional of lying to a civilian, knowing that we're under stay-at-home orders, and then kind of laughing or not thinking it's important that I'm out there trying to work in his city, number one. Number two, the gall of coming up to any civilian without a mask on when we're told we have to all wear masks. It shows that some people think they're better than others, that they don't have to wear a mask. I don't want to say that I'm starting to feel kind of grossed out by those two people doing that to me, but in 9 months that I've been under these restrictions, I've done my best, and people around me have all done their best to social distance, wear masks, and all keep each other safe in all situations. And those policemen totally disregarded that and didn't care. First, the first one, and then the second one, who saw his friend or his partner not wearing a mask, and then also coming not wearing a mask on the side. Now, I can understand if, they're staking out something and they think that this car shouldn't be in a situation, but that's why there needs to be not just police reform, but levels of police now. In my opinion, in 2010, I called the Anaheim PD because I had been pulled over when I was just sleeping in my car for a few minutes at gunpoint. in 2010 down the street from my father's house at a park where they walk the dogs. And I was causing absolutely no problems to get held up at a gunpoint. This is 2011 or 10 in that range. I complained about it. And in my opinion, the police, you guys are scaring people out of your city by having officers that either they're just pricks or they're undisciplined or they think that they're better than civilians. That's why everyone's moving out in groves. It's part of the problem. Police needs to be reformed. If you think that I have a problem with an infraction, there should be a button in my car that I press, and then you put that paper in my car by where the gas tank is, and there's no contact. If I'm dropping off food and there's no contact, then if you think that I'm wearing a bandana and you think that's grounds to pull me over, then just put the ticket on the side of my car and take your shit, get in your police car and get the fuck away from me. Okay? Don't sit there and tell me that I have an attitude because I'm trying to explain to you why I'm wearing a bandana, and then you're saying, oh, I didn't know that you can get COVID through the ears. I didn't want to sit there and say that's because you're not smart. But anything that you tell these police, I almost felt like a Uyghur in the CCP in Anaheim, California, the way I was pulled over at a light when I wasn't even in motion. That is just the most discriminating thing that has occurred to me in a light pullover. And it's just appalling that I try to look as young as I can. And I am 48 years old. I'm 48 years old. And I might look like I'm 30. And you might think I'm 30. But what difference does it make if I'm 30 or if I'm 50 of how I'm being treated? But I'm almost 50 years old and you're going to treat me like some punk and almost drag me out of my car while I'm trying to work in your city? Now, I called the police to complain about what just occurred to me. But because whoever matters and this person matters, I know my complaint is not going to matter. So I'm going to post this. And that last video that I did regarding to recall the governor because of the homeless crisis, and I didn't want to name the city that I was doing the video in, well, now I'm going to name the city. It was Anaheim, California. Anaheim, California. That's where I did that video. So not only should the governor be ashamed of himself, but the city should be embarrassed that you're trying to hurt people while they're trying to work in your city and haggle them or harass them and demean them because you think he's wearing a red bandana under his angel's hat because I'm cold? I mean, I don't want to sit there and say that those officers are not intelligent because I know that they're putting themselves on the line. But it's just a matter of time when this city makes a huge boo-boo. I'm calling it. Just like I called it last time before George Floyd. It's going to happen. Someone's going to make a huge boo-boo in this city. And they're going to regret it because they don't reform their department within. These guys are not just trigger happy, but they have no respect for civilians. We pay our property taxes here. We rent here. We work here. We pay our gas and our gas tax here. Have some respect. If I'm flying down the road going 80 on a 35, I understand that you're mad. But when I'm not in motion and you treat me like that over a left turn signal because my car's not a brand new car, that is straight up discrimination. And that was the first thing that you said to me, was why I'm wearing a red bandana. What difference does it make? Who cares? Why do I gotta explain to you? And then when I give you the explanation, you don't think it's good enough because you're not smart enough to know the science that you can get COVID through the eyes and ears And I do my best to cover my eyes and ears when I'm out. Just pathetic. Today was the first time I've ever lived in Orange County that I've ever thought about moving out of the city and now out of the state. When I see the Rose Bowl in Arlington, Texas, I'm looking at other places. You guys are scaring us out of here. We're not Uyghurs at a camp. You don't treat us like pulling us over like we're scum. Military style. You don't do that. There needs to be police reforms before somebody gets hurt. Before you guys hurt yourselves. You know, you guys are lucky this round in a way that you guys had a lot of people and a lot of media backing you up. If you didn't have that, it would be completely different. Some people that want to be journalists and be in that field sucking up to all this when we know that it needs to be reformed. I called what happened in Los Angeles Sheriff's Department area. I called it. I did video that it was going to happen before it happened, and it happened. I know these things because I know how people are acting on the street. They're almost acting like they're not human beings, like reptiles in police uniforms. Are you guys stupid or what? Why does it take 9 guys to pounce on a guy when he's not moving? You guys lie so much. He sat there and lied to me. I told him the sheriff saw me, and I was right next to him about half an hour before you did.